Hello guys and welcome to another DBD Ghostface review. Before we start, just remember that this review series is not about the Ghostface winning the game, but we want to learn from the game altogether. So even if it's a loss like in the last video, there's still a lot to analyze and to learn from. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so this is the loadout we will be going into the game with. As usual, I will be playing without any add-ons. Also without offering, of course. For perks, we are bringing barbecue and chili, so that we can see survivors that are further away than 40 meters from the hook each time we hook a survivor. Deadlock, which blocks the furthest repaired generator for 30 seconds after another generator has been completed. Grim Embrace, which activates after hooking every survivor once and blocks all the generators for 40 seconds. It also shows me the aura of the obsession for 5 seconds. And Lethal Pursuer, with which we see the survivor's aura for 9 seconds at the start of each trial. So how is this build supposed to work together? So firstly, Lethal Pursuer activates, then we see all these survivors' auras. That way we can easily find out where they are and how they are split up, and go after the most vulnerable target, or maybe go for a big stalk, which means 2 or more survivors that are probably working on a gen. Then we will probably, hopefully, be able to get a very fast down right at the start of the game, which puts a lot of pressure on the other survivors, so they don't have as much time to work on the gens, which also is the reason we brought Deadlock. So usually at the start of your games, survivors will be working on more than one generator. So in case we do not get an early down with the help of Lethal Pursuer, Deadlock will activate and block the second gen the survivors would have popped right at the start, which would have been very bad for us, but now doesn't matter that much anymore. It basically just buys us more time to get the first down, and may also help us later on in the game. Then we have barbecue and chili. This just helps us after we get our first down with the help of Lethal Pursuer, so that we can see the next survivors and instantly switch targets on them. We don't have to go searching again. So it's for tracking. Also, I kind of have it there because of the blood points as well. There might be other perks that are more useful in this place, like Thrilling Tremors or Discordance, but you also have to keep in mind that those only work when the survivors are working on generators, and barbecue and chili also shows you the survivors when they are running around. So very helpful, maybe even the best perk. Okay, yes, so then the last one is Grim Embrace, which helps us if we cannot finish one survivor quickly enough, if we cannot get them out of the game quickly enough, and we end up hooking every survivor once. It blocks the generators for 40 seconds, so we get more time to finish a chase and actually get another down, and hopefully a crucial one. So that's the build, and let's get straight into the gameplay. Okay, so right off the bat there are a few things to notice. First of all, the map. The map is Eyrie of Crows, which is the new map from the artist. That means it has a very high building from which we can stalk, which usually is the place you want to go first to as a Ghostface, but as you'll see in this game, it will turn out otherwise. The second thing to notice is of course that our Lethal Pursuer has activated. So then we see 2 survivors right in front of us and 2 survivors behind the building. Now we could just go up the building and stalk from there, but instead I see that one of the survivors in front of me is splitting up into an open area, so I decide to go there for a quick down. Now as you can see, the Jill was hiding, probably because she has Spine Chill, but still we managed to outplay her by hiding our red light and blocking the pallet. So then we break the pallet for later and immediately hook the Jill so that we can use our barbecue and chili to find another survivor. Now we see 2 more survivors, both on the other side of the map, so we will be making our way over there, but keep in mind that the 3rd survivor is probably near the hook and will be unhooking Jill as soon as we leave. I don't want them to finish their generator yet, so I hurry up through the middle of the main building and run straight into the David. For some reason David doesn't look behind him and runs into me again, so we get our second hook. I hurry back onto the gen just as the Jill gets rescued and try to stop the second survivor from completing it. There's obviously someone hiding in the snowman, so I hit it and Claudette pops out. I try to stalk her, but I can't lean on this rock and instead get broken out of my power. I still have a bit of time before they can rescue the David, so I decide to follow the Claudette. Now that the David has been rescued, I decide to hurry up and leave the Claudette after the first hit. As she leaves, I try to stalk her for a bit, but I lose track of her. Because I do not have any tracking perks in this build, I decide this is the best time to go up the main building and stalk from there. Looking from the main building, I can't find anyone to stalk, so when a gen pops, I realize that it is a bad mistake to stay there and instead go back to kick the gen and then make my way from there to the survivors. When the second gen pops, I get into the perfect position to stalk the Jill and the David for a while. Jill saw me, so I chase her away and instead go for the 99th David. He didn't see me approaching, so he'll be our 3rd hook. Jill decides to give me a free hit, so I just follow her right after hooking the David. Because the shack is a very powerful loop, I don't really want to follow her there, so I instead decide to stalk her and then leave her for good. But when Jill drops the shack pallet, we can just chase her to a new loop and follow her again. Thanks to a quick juke at the pallet, we immediately down the Jill for another hook. Because I activate my power too early, I nearly get broken out of stealth by the Jill, but I'm able to hide behind a rock. Right after, I immediately find the David. He probably should have run into me there to take a quick hit, but instead I get a quick down by stalking him. The David is on death hook, so the Eyrie tries to block for him, but it's no use, we down her and get David on the hook. Looking at the stats on the left, we can now see that David is dead, the mech is almost dead on hook as well, we have the Jill on our shoulders and only the Claudette is running around healthy. So we could decide to drop the Jill and instead go for the Claudette but I am pretty confident that we won this game anyway, so I allow the Claudette to run for the hooked mech. As you can see, the Claudette doesn't make it to the mech in time, so she tries to save the Union instead. Now we can easily stalk the Claudette and finish her to win this game. So this was my second Dead by Daylight Ghostface review. I hope you liked this format, maybe even a bit better than the text-based one before. Of course there is a lot, and I mean a lot more going on in these games than I can explain just in one of those videos. So if you want to see more of these videos, then leave a like, comment, or even subscribe, and hopefully you can leave some constructive criticism for me. That would be really helpful. And yeah, see you in the next one.